Right, I think we are actually live. Let's just see if we are. First one. Yes, we are. I can see us live. Happy days. Happy days. Let's just load up the old YouTubes. So we have the chat running, which is what we want. We want the chat running. And let me just check the sound to make sure the sound is all good. Yep, I can hear my irritating voice in the background. Joyous. Hey, what is up? And welcome to the first 3 Tickets Anywhere live stream where we're going to be planning a trip to Copenhagen. We're going to be doing a 3-day trip. Is it a 3-day or 4-day? It's 4 days, 3 nights. So yeah, I want to do a kind of a plan for this. Hopefully you can see the screen and it's looking good. But we're going to basically do a destination which is Copenhagen, 3 nights, 4 days. I'm going to do it for the 13th of February to the 16th of February. So it is very close, but yeah, it aligns with the school holidays here in the UK, which start on the 16th. So it's kind of the weekend before the school holidays initially start, kind of helping to reduce the cost a little bit, because obviously prices shoot up when it's the school holidays. But then also, I kind of think that mic is quite loud. Let's turn that down a little bit. There we go. Hopefully that's better and it's not peaking. So yeah, hopefully, so it's going to avoid hopefully that rush of price. One moment. Getting a bit of a cold. So yeah, it'll avoid that rush and also help to combat needing a holiday. Sorry, one moment. There we go. Sorry about that. Oh, and another drink. Oh, excuse me. What it is I've just been trying to sort this Elgato light up there that I've not touched in ages, and there is a ton of dust at the back of it, which I think I've just swallowed. So that is the coffin fit. So anyway, yeah, we're doing it for the weekend before the school holidays to hopefully avoid a massive price increase, but also to cater for work holidays as well, so don't have to take a full week off work so early in the year, when obviously I'm going to want to enjoy some nice summer holidays as well. So we're going to do those dates. We're going to look at the flights, going to look at the hotels, different range of hotels. We're going to look at budget hotels, mid-range hotels, luxury hotels. Going to look at activities. Then we're going to look at potential restaurants to eat at, and then we'll put together a nice little plan. Now, the reason I'm doing this is to hopefully help you guys plan a trip to potentially Copenhagen, but just to show you how I actually plan holidays as well. So if there is another destination that you want to go to, then hopefully this will just give you some thoughts and ideas on how to plan that as effectively as possible. Now, whenever I do a holiday itinerary and plan, I never go full on and put as much in there as possible. I like to have kind of like a chilled family experience. Our son does not like being pulled here, there, and everywhere. So it's normally a little bit chilled, but we'll try and get the main things in there if possible. So just bear that in mind. And yeah, if there is a destination that you do want me to actually plan for you or plan, please do let me know in the comments on where it is, ideal dates, duration, those kind of things, and I will get that added to the list and do it on a future stream. Right, so yes, let's get started. First thing we're going to do is look at the flights. We're going to go to Google Flights. We're going to do it through Google first, just because this gives us a little bit of flexibility in terms of the different airlines, so we don't actually have to go to each individual airline necessarily. So we're going to fly from, let's just try East Midlands, that's the closest one to me, and we're going to go to Copenhagen, and the dates was the 13th to the 16th. So we're going to go to the 13th, which is this one, and already I can see that looks ridiculously expensive. So maybe not on through here. So let's search that. So yeah, we can see straight away that we have a few airlines. You know, there's Aer Lingus, there's British Airways. I do know that there is Ryanair as well, but we have 2 stops, which is why this is so expensive. So where are we actually stopping at? We're stopping at Heathrow and Belfast. So it's going via Ireland, which we don't want. So we know that they're going to fly from Heathrow. So we can have a look at that. Let's have a look at Heathrow, Copenhagen. And we have the, again, we just want no stops. So we want direct, non-stop only. I don't particularly, not a fan of stops. If I can avoid them, I will do. So we have here, we have 650, 640. This one looks cheaper. It doesn't come with any luggage space. Obviously, we have to take that into account. This one has, it doesn't say. 650, to be honest, for me, is going to be a little bit too early in the day. Obviously, coming from East Midlands down to Heathrow, it's around about a 2-hour drive. So if I was to get to the 650 one, I would need to leave. I need to be there for 2 hours earlier. So that would be 450. Yeah, 450. Yeah, 450. I'd then need to leave 2 hours to get there. So we're looking at least 250 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning. So that would be too early for me. This would be better, 8:40. I think, just because of the time, but it is obviously a little bit more money. I think we'll just put this one down. I wouldn't usually fly at this time, to be completely honest with you, but we will do that. We'll put that one down. So what we've got London Heathrow, and that's with BA, and that's 650. We'll do departure down here, so we've got 6:50 a.m. and then let's just do this so we can do it a little bit better, to Copenhagen with British Airways, because that's the going out flight. And then so we'll pick that one, and we've got coming back. What we've got, I kind of like to do as late as possible. I'm thinking this one, 18:35, because then you just get longer in on the last day. So we're going to do that as well. So 18:35. So coming back, Copenhagen to London Heathrow, and that is BA again. And what time did I say? I said 18:35. That's pretty decent. Get all day there, and the total price of that is, so we picked that one. Today's lowest price is £125 per person. Now we need to change this to that. I completely forgot to do that. So it's 380 in total. Flights are still the same, which is good. We have 1 free carry-on per passenger and 1 first check bag per passenger available for a fee. So obviously there is that little bit extra. But looking at it, it's quite reasonably priced. So we're going to go 380 for that. So that's 380. No checked bag. We'll need a check bag because obviously child. So we're going to continue with that, and that's just going to take us to the British Airways website. So we can see, can we actually add cases here? No, I can't. I need to add them afterwards, and I can't remember how much they charge. Let's just put these in for now. I don't need. Okay, this one. I don't really want to be putting passenger details in just yet. I don't want to go that far. I just want to add. Oh, do you know what? We can just put some fake info in. Mr. Me at me. Mrs. Her. Oops. Don't want that. This is her. Her last name is her. And master, him. And that one. I'll do that one. me@me.com. Let's see if this works. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll give it a bash. Don't know if that's the right amount of digits. It's not a real number, so don't try and phone it. So seat allocation, we do have to pay for seats. So we're going to go for the cheapest seats, to be fair. We're going to keep it fairly budget friendly. Near the toilets as well, just so it's easier for our son. So we're going to go like that. Happy days. And that's obviously also bumped it up. Now I'd like to do this normally, you know, you could do it just finding the flights and budgeting it that way, but that doesn't give you a final price. So, you know, it's these hidden extras that are really irritating. So you don't want to plan a trip and then suddenly have these extras added to it. So baggage, we are going to add one checked bag. It's only for 3 nights. I mean, we might manage with the cabin bag and obviously like a rucksack, but I like to have a checked bag just so that we've got one for, you know, obviously having a child. It's just a little bit easier. So we're just going to add one into that and then review the price. So the total is going to be 527.25. 527.25. So we're going to put that in there, and that's going to be seats plus one checked bag. Right, now we're going to go back and check out if there's another airline, which there should be, because like I said, I know Ryanair do fly there, and I think let's try Birmingham. That's a bit closer to me. To be honest, that's really, really late. I hate doing late flights because you just get there really late and you're losing an entire day. It's tempting. What's the flights coming back? So at least you gain a bit there, I suppose. It's a shame they don't do an earlier flight, but yeah, that's might be a bit cheaper. Let's continue with that and see. So we'll continue with that one. Purchase separate tickets. Okay, so you got to purchase them separately. I'd probably not do them separately, so yeah, I won't bother with that one. I've never flown with them either, to be honest. I don't know what they're like. I'm sure they're great, but yeah, I've not flown with them before. Let's look at Ryanair. Like I say, I know that Ryanair fly, so let's go to... So we can't do Copenhagen from there, as we know, so let's try all of London airports and go to Denmark, Copenhagen. Choose the date was the 13th to the 16th, and there was 2 adults and 1 child. Search. There we go. So Stansted, operated by Ryanair. 13.50. That's quite a good. That is quite a good time, to be fair. I quite like that. That is a decent time because it's, you know, you get there. It's a quick, fairly decent flight. 2 hours. So you get there at 4:45. So yeah, we'll select that one because you can get your evening meal and whatnot. And then we'll come back Monday, and again a late flight we would like. This one or this one. I don't ever like it, personally, I don't tend to like it when it's operated by another airline. And the only reason behind that, I've got no issues with other airlines at all. The only thing that I don't like about that is that if there's any issue with the flight afterwards, like I recently came back on a Ryanair flight and it was late. Obviously, if that had come through a different airline like Malta Air, who would claim responsibility for that? Obviously, I booked it through Ryanair, but if it was through a different airline, would they just simply pass the buck and then that airline turn around and say, well, you booked it through Ryanair, so you need to deal with them? That's the kind of issue that I have with it. But yeah, it's more of an issue with my thinking. But we're gonna go for this one because I think this one's quite a good time. Actually, do you know what? I think I'll go for this one, to be honest. It's a lot cheaper. It is a later, so obviously by the time we get home from London, it would be more like 12:30 at night. But obviously it's a Monday, the Tuesday's a school holiday, so it's not like our son has to go to school. So that would be better. It's a pretty decent price, so we'll select that. And we'll get an entire day and evening in Copenhagen. With Ryanair, I tend to always go with the Family Plus just because you get the extra baggage. So we have 10-kilogram bag for everyone, and we have 20-kilogram bag as well for one booking. And I think that's pretty decent. Although for a 3-hour flight, that might be enough. And you get priority boarding. Interesting. Do you know what? I think we'll go for this one. Yeah, I think we'll go for that one. So that's 149.98. 149.98. I'm going to times that, but I need to write these down actually, don't I? Stupid. So we're going to London, Stansted to Copenhagen, and that's through Ryanair. And the times were, what was the time? 13:50. And coming back, so Copenhagen to London, Stansted, Ryanair. And the time was late. I think we fly at 21:15. 21:15. And that was a total of, my maths is, well, it's not terrible, that's easy enough maths to do. Let's round it up to 150, so that's 300, so 450. So 450. 450, and that includes 3 10-kilogram in cabin bags. So that's not too bad. That's pretty decent. 450 I think is quite good. Obviously saves us about, what, 50, 70, 80 quid. So that's not too bad if you compare the two. Obviously you miss out with the checked bag. But there is priority boarding, which I think makes no difference. I'm normally the last one on the plane anyway, if I'm completely honest with you. I hate the rushing onto planes. But that's the flights that we've got. So we've got 2 flights sorted. I do tend to like a third option, but I don't think. Let's have a look. Let's try Manchester Airport whilst we're looking. I mean, Australia is quite expensive. There is this one from Manchester with Ryanair. We've also got EasyJet. Manchester's not too bad a flight. Let's just use this one then. That's quite a decent time as well. Yeah, I might as well do this one. It's a different airline. It's always good going for a different airline, I think. Why not? Returning flights. Again, I think we're going to go for this one. A nice late flight. Manchester's a bit more of a drive than London for me personally, but not a massive issue. So yeah, let's do that one. Let's go there. Then we've got a nice 3 choices then, don't we? Got a good 3 choices. So Manchester to Copenhagen, and that's through EasyJet. And the time of that one is 11:20. 11:20. And then Copenhagen to Manchester, EasyJet. And that one, time for that one is 21:45. Now what my plan is I do plan on creating let me just do this. I do plan on creating some actual nice itinerary sheets that I'll be filling out, like a checklist, and just filling the forms out, make it look nice and pretty, which is then going to be downloadable for you if that is of an interest. And over this live streams, we'll have quite a lot of these all packed up in a database that you can then download as and when you want. Obviously you need to change the dates and that stuff, but it will still have a lot of recommendations in there, such as airlines, rough price idea, hotels, itineraries, you know, things to do, restaurants to visit. So hopefully it will still be a really nice resource no matter what time of the year you plan to go to any of these places that we do. So price wise, we're going to go to the EasyJet site, because obviously prices change once you add in extras, annoyingly. So we've got two choices. We're going to stick with this one because that one's too late. Again, you miss the entire day. Monday, again, we might as well do this one. You miss the entire day. We don't want to miss the day. And that one's more expensive, so you don't want to pay more for the hotel. You do get a small cabin bag included. What does that include? That's just going to be like a handbag kind of thing, I expect. So we're going to continue. So yeah, a small handbag kind of thing. So we're going to want, and this is where the price is going to go up. Although, you know, that one you have to pay anyway. So let's have a look. So it's going to be that one, a smart one. Does this mean it's included? So why has that got a green tick and these ones got a black tick? I've never flown, I can't remember flying through these before, so yeah. Probably because they're trying to get you to go for that one. So we're just going to go for this one. It does also come with a speedy boarding, so we're going to go for that. I don't need to put the passenger details in. So the total of that is going to be, are you going to tell me how much the total is? £582. Boom. 582. Paste that, and that is with the 3 cabin bags, like so. We are going to put, actually, because we didn't do this, because it is an extra, it is, you know, it is a benefit. So let's treat things fair and obviously include everything that you get, like so. So 3 flight choices, 450, 527 and 582. Gives us the choice of different airlines. There's 3 different airlines, 3 different airports, and 3 different circumstances in terms of bags. And what we have, obviously the cheapest here is through this one if we were to have no checked bags at all. So if you're the kind of person that travels with very little luggage, you know, rucksack on your back, which I quite enjoy doing, but with a family, definitely a lot harder to do, that one might be an option. If not, I would personally, if I was doing it, I would probably be going for this Ryanair one. Decent price, and you still get the baggage space. So we've got the airline sorted. That is done. Next, we're going to go on to hotels. Now, I'm going to look at 3 different hotels for each bracket. So we're going to look at 9 different hotels. We're going to get 9 choices up. We're going to narrow it down. We're going to go for, potentially, depending on how long it takes for us to do, but we're going to be looking at budget hotels, mid-range hotels, and luxury hotels. That will hopefully give everybody a little bit of, you know, an option, a variation of choices. If you prefer to go budget, then you'll have that choice. If you prefer to go like massive luxury, then obviously there will be options for you as well. And I'll go through what I prefer to do when looking at hotels. So the first thing I'll do is go to booking.com, and we are going to not sign in. Obviously, if you sign in and you get the Genius reward, if you go through booking.com, then that's going to save you a little bit of money as well. But I'm just going to do it without any Genius award, rewards on there, just to make it completely clear. So we're going to go to Copenhagen. We're going to do the check-in date was the 13th and the checkout was the 16th. Now I have just realized something, and that is that the 14th of February is Valentine's Day. So there is a good chance that that is going to whoop up the prices even more because of people traveling there to celebrate Valentine's Day. I don't know if Copenhagen's a destination where a lot of people go for Valentine's Day. I'm sure like Paris and places like that are. I don't know. But just bear that in mind. If you are looking to travel for Valentine's Day, then this is perfect. So 9, we're only going to have the one room. We'll just obviously share a room. And we are going to go to search. Now, the first thing that I do when I look at properties, we are going to first of all drop the price in to meet the budget that we're looking for. So the budget that we're looking for initially is the budgets. That is going to be between £0 and £150. Now Copenhagen is quite an expensive place to go and be. So the price per night will vary depending on locations that you're going for. I've just done a little bit of research, and this is the average cost for a budget hotel in Copenhagen. So now we're just going to do some filters. We are going to just look for hotels and not like hostels or guest houses. Just go for hotels. Even though we're going as a family, I'm not going to go for family friendly properties. At the end of the day, a place like Copenhagen, most hotels are going to be relatively family friendly. I'm not going to put in breakfast included. Main reason, because we're going for so long, well, because it's for 4 days, 3 nights technically, I don't want to include breakfast every day. You can add that on at the hotel if you want. Sometimes it's nice exploring these cities and trying different places for breakfast, and sometimes I think it's a little bit more expensive adding the breakfast on there, but if that's added for free, then happy days. And then we're going to look at the stars. Now, personally, I prefer to stay in 3 and 4 star hotels. I don't really care generally, but I just kind of like have it as a 3-star minimum. Obviously, if the budget is lower, then you're going to want to go for a potentially 2-star hotel. Completely down to yourselves. And we're going to do it so it is less than a mile from the city centre. Now, you are going to find a lot cheaper hotels or more cost-effective hotels the further out of the city centre that you go. So if that is, if you do have a specific budget and you can't, go close to the city, then definitely go out of the city. What you have to bear in mind, and this is why I prefer being inside the city, is that the cost of getting into the city after that tends to make those savings negligible or none at all, because if you have to get a metro in or a train in or a bus in or a taxi in, then that's going to cost money. If you're going to save the money and walk, then that's going to take time. I remember staying in London and we stayed about an hour away from the centre, and I walked in stupidly. So that was 2 hours of the day wasted going to and from the hotel. And obviously with a child, that is an absolute nightmare and just adds extra stress. So sometimes it's worth just spending that little bit extra, but being in the city centre. So that's personally what I do like to do. So we're going to look at these now. So we're going to look also at the bed situation. So we can see here, this one is quite good. It's got 2 beds. One is a sofa bed and one is a large double bed. So we're going to open that up. This one on the other hand is 2 single beds and 1 sofa bed. So obviously I'm going with our son and my wife. I don't particularly want to be on 2 single beds. I don't mean like this situation. It's going to literally be a single bed, single bed, single bed. So yeah, I don't really want to do that. So we're going to look at this one. We have 2 beds, 1 extra large double and a sofa bed. So we're going to look at that one. Bunk bed and a large double bed. That might be quite interesting. Go for that. And 1 single, 1 double, free stay for the child, so that's pretty decent. Multiple bed types, that one, 1 double or 2 singles. So this is what you have to bear in mind as well, is that this one is 1 double bed or 2 single beds. So it kind of makes you think, well, where's our child sleeping? I don't need all 3 of us in the same bed. Again, 2 singles, 1 sofa bed. And here we have 1 single and 1 double. So we'll also look at that one. So we've got a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 choices here. So I'm going to narrow these down to 3 hotels. So we have, what do we have? We have a standard family room, wellness and pool access excluded. Well, that's fine. In February, I don't know if I'll be using the pool. Indoor pool, very good breakfast, 3 restaurants, family rooms, got a view. Looks quite nice actually. Looks pretty decent. Yeah, it looks quite nice. It's actually by the canal area, which is pretty nice. It'll be good views. Pool looks good. Views look decent. Yeah, that one looks good. Let's have a look. Prime location, 8.8 for a stay with kids, so that's good. And what we got? Why we got? So it's 415. So that is going to be this one. It's a number of guests with 3. So what's that? That's your child stays for free. So why is that? Okay, so there we go. So that one is with breakfast included. So this is without breakfast. This is with breakfast, but obviously child included, so you might save a little bit of money there getting the actual breakfast. But what does that work out at per night? So let me just pull this calculator up because my maths is shocking. So 5112 divided by 3, that does not meet the requirement of the 150, is it 150 pounds? Yeah, per night. So that would be not a budget hotel with that breakfast option included. However, it would be if we went for this first choice, which is 415 divided by 3. That's 138 pounds a night. So that one would be fine. We just wouldn't get the breakfast option in there, which is fine, because we weren't going to have breakfast anyway. That would have just been a nice addition. So yeah, if you got that little bit extra, then you could go for that one and get that breakfast. So I think we're going to add this one in there. It looks pretty decent. Looks like a good location to the city centre. Where are we? There, right on the canal here. The airport, I believe, is down here, is it? I believe the airport is there. Yeah, so it's not a million miles away from the airport. You've got the centre of Copenhagen is here, roughly around here. You got Rosenborg Castle here, I believe it is. So that's obviously one of the attractions to see. Tivoli Gardens is there, so it's really close to Tivoli Gardens and the train station if you do get the train from the airport. So that is a good location. So we'll definitely add that to the list. So that is Scandic Spectrum. Sounds like a spell from Harry Potter. Pop that in there. Oh, we don't want to do it like that. Oh, it's messed up my formatting. Don't want to do that. Right. Pop that in, and we're going to do paste without formatting. There we go. And that one is, how much was that again? I've lost it already. £415. 415. Okay. That one. And actually we'll also pop in that link as well. Just so we've got the link. I think that's important to do. Like so. Right, that's that one. Next we've got 4 Points Flex by Copenhagen or Sherrington, Copenhagen City. 1 extra large bed. Again, decent location. That is there, right opposite the Tivoli Gardens. Quite close to the train station, but not super close. So that's pretty good. Good for walking and get into. What do the rooms look like? Because even even though it's budget, you still want to look like a nice room. You still want comfort. Budget doesn't necessarily mean non-comfort. Bathroom looks nice. I like the white tiles. That looks good. Bit of a squeeze, but you're going to be out exploring all day, so why does it necessarily matter? Yeah, I think that looks nice. That looks good. The reviews look decent, don't they? Didn't look at the reviews on the last one, but I'll have a quick look at them. Staff are friendly. Great location. No fridge freeze in the room, but staff helped. Okay, so yeah, that might be a big concern for some people. Excellent location, 2-minute walk, good. Negative, shower was a curtain instead of a proper built one, the kind that floods your whole bathroom if you're not careful. Squeegees provided. It's not the end of the world. Excellent location in the train station, room's very tiny. Nice place, noise from the back street, okay. Location, easy 3-minute walk, good for breakfast, small bar and work area in the foyer, left luggage for an extra payment, great bar around corner. Paying for left luggage, room was compact, a little expensive. Okay. I mean, I would say you shouldn't have to pay to leave a suitcase. Do you know if you're exploring the city, you shouldn't have to pay for that. Jesus. But it looks like a good location, so yeah, you obviously outweigh that. I think we'll put that down. What we got? We got 446, and that is breakfast is 17 quid added optionally. We're not going to obviously add that, but I think we'll. Let's look at some of the other ones actually. That's not bad. 317. What does it look like? Looks nice. It's quite nice and spacious, to be fair. Nice bathroom. What's that? Cube. Could be a bit noisy if you got kids. Let's see what the reviews say. Guest reviews. It's a 4-star according to this. That's good. Comfortable. Great access to the ferries. Bit noisy due to refuse collection. Well, you're gonna get that everywhere. The cube cocktail bar is a good thing. Bed was up against the wall. Okay. That's strange. Breakfast so close, yeah. Bed was uncomfortable. Location, nothing wrong with that one. Close to Tivoli, good. All room supplies, carts, blah blah blah. Not a very inviting look. Okay. Great central location. It's close to the city centre with metro. Room was on the small side, especially the bathroom. The bathroom door didn't open fully due to the bedside table, which made it. Well, it's not the end of the world. For some reason, 5 a.m. first, my son decided to move metal crates across the inner courtyard for half an hour. That was a real pain. Yeah, that would be annoying. Traffic. Okay, so it's a mixed bag, but it looks pretty decent, and it's a little bit more on the north. Actually, that's quite a nice location. Tivoli's there, train station there, quite close to that other one. That's that one. I think, yeah, it's pretty decent. I don't think that's a bad choice. That's pretty decent, to be fair, and the price is good as well. And you can actually get this one with the breakfast included for 404. So that works out quite nice. So it works out if you didn't want the breakfast. 317 times that by 3. No, divide that by 3. Stupid. That would be £105 a night, which is decent. Or if you had the breakfast, it would be £134 a night, which again is pretty decent as well. So I think I'll add this one because it gives us the choice of breakfast and non-breakfast. Looks like it's part of the same company as that one. So we're going to add that. That's going to be, where are we? 317 and 404. 317, 404. And we'll put with breakfast. So there we go. That's a good choice, I think. We're going to copy the URL and we're going to bop that in there, like so. Right, last one for the budgets, and we're going to look at. Let's just look at the pictures quickly. That's quite a good price, though. To be fair, bunk beds. Every kid loves bunk beds. Look at the pictures first and see which ones look the nicest. One single bed, one double bed. So that's a triple room. One single bed and one double bed. And then this is one large double bed and a bunk bed. So let's just see. Railway sleeper for 4. It looks quite nice, actually. What's the location like? Okay. So it's literally right next to this train station. Wow, that's quite close. Let's have a look. Like that. Located in service free. Parking limited. Looks pretty decent. A train right from the airport. I think my concern would be the noise. Rooms could be cozier. No fridge in the room. Close to the rail tracks, but didn't bother us. Generally, everything was nice. Staff were welcome in my point. Okay. Many complain about the noise from the trains. There is some noise, but at a level that didn't bother us at all. Tiny room, blah blah. Next to rail tracks and most. But again, we knew that. Yeah, so I suppose you'd save the money. Was too loud to sleep with the window open. I'm not complaining. Yeah, that's fair enough. I suppose, you know, you're not going to have your windows open in February, I want to imagine. But yeah, I suppose that would be a little bit of a concern. But it is a decent price. Not a bad price, but it's a big jump up to that just to add breakfast. That is a crazy amount just to add breakfast. So no, I'm not going to do that one, because I think the train would be irritating in the morning for sure. Right, what's this one look like? This is a Good Morning City Copenhagen Star. That looks nice. Carpet looks a bit psychedelic, but it looks nice. It's comfy. That irritates me. That really irritates me. That messes with my OCD, the fact that they've not lined these up. That's just me, but yeah. that would really wind me up. Breakfast area looks nice. Chill out area. Yeah, it looks pretty decent, doesn't it? Looks like I've got plenty of breakfasty stuff. Rooms look decent. Bathrooms look decent. What are the reviews like? A lot of reviews, so that's good. Friendly, overpriced for the room. No kettle or drink water provided in the room. We're down to the concerning of balance, and we will certainly use the toilets. Yeah, see, I do quite like to have a kettle and stuff in the room. You know, it's just one of those things. Not a lot of storage space, a little cold in December. Not exactly the hotel's fault. Shower drain could not keep the water flow. Bathroom needs upgrading. The only thing I would say is that it's really mini fridge in a room. Yeah, so I suppose obviously we'd be going with a child, so we have snacks. He likes, you know, he gets thirsty in the middle of the night. If they don't have, you know, complimentary water or a mini bar or something, then that's an issue for us, not necessarily for everybody. So yeah, we're not bothered with that one. This one looks nice. Don't know why you'd put pictures of people in there though. That one's got a mini fridge. Guaranteed to get broken. But it looks nice. It looks boutique-y. That looks horrendous. Yeah, it's alright. It's pretty nice. It's I don't think that would be very child friendly though. As child friendly. What does a triple room look like? Is there a picture of that? Okay, so it looks like you've got a double bed there, and then there'll be a single bed by the window opposite, I'm guessing. So that's not bad. That's quite a decent room setup. £312. No breakfast at all. Is there no restaurant whatsoever? Restaurant bars within walking distance. Okay. So there's no restaurant. Is there a bar? Is there a bar? Where are the facilities? Here we go. Bedroom view, kitchen, dining room, media services, reception. So there's not a bar. So for me, I won't add this one. You know, when we go away with family, well, our son, we don't tend to drink a great deal, but it is nice to be able to go to the bar after a nice walk around the city, go to the bar, have a couple of drinks, play a bit of Uno or other games. I think that's quite a nice thing to do. So that is definitely a restriction. I'm not so fussed that it doesn't have a restaurant or breakfast facilities, because like I say, we'll go out and do that anyway. But I think it's still nice to have it, the option there. So yeah, I'm not going to go for that one. So the only other one is to go for this one that we originally looked at before, which is not a bad shout. To be fair, I think this is a good choice. A little bit more expensive, but it's still a good option. So we're going to put that down as our third choice. And it's a bit more expensive, 446, but that should still fit. Let's grab the calculator. 446 divided by 3, just £148.66. So that's just within the budget of a budget hotel. So let's copy that. Right. Now we're going to look at the mid-range. So all we do now is, this is really easy to do because we've already got all of these things set up. All we have to do is go to 150 to, what was it, 200? Was it 200? 250. So 250 per night and 150 per night. We'll go 150 per night. Now, what I'm going to make sure we do is we discount any that we've already looked at. The main reason behind that is just because we've already looked at them for the budget option. It is more than likely the thing that's actually put it into the mid-range option is just adding the breakfast to it. That is literally all it's probably going to be. So we're not going to look at that at all. And I'm not going to get so many out this time. We're going to keep it relatively simple and straightforward and just pick a few out. So we're going to go for, let's have a look. We're going to go for this one extra large double bed and a sofa bed. Breakfast included at £501, which is pretty decent. That's a good, that's a good deal. How much is that per person, per night? So what was it? 501 divided by 3 is £167. So it's actually at the lower end of a budget. So that's pretty good. We're going to add that. One single large double. Now I do know I have stayed in Copenhagen and I have stayed at this hotel. So I am going to put that. It's a little bit inside information, but it's a nice hotel. And a pretty decent location. We're then going to look at, so we've got a single bed there and a large double. It's pretty close, so we will pick, it's going to be quite close to the top end of the budget, isn't it? What is that? 580 divided by 3 is £193. So not too bad. It's like midway. But there is a deal at the moment, so this might be more expensive if you're checking it at a later date. So we are gonna add that. 1 double or 2 singles. Again, that's not gonna help. We've seen that one. 1 extra large double bed. Again, it's not gonna help when there's 3 of us. 1 double and 2 singles. Or 2 singles. Again, it's a family room, so how come that's not helping us at all? 3 single beds, don't want a single bed. 2 beds, 1 extra large double and a sofa bed. It's quite a good location. You know, we'll pop that in there. And I think we're going to leave it at that. I think that is enough to look at. Yeah. Extra large door. Yeah, that's fine. So we've got 4 choices here. So we have, this looks nice. I do like this one. This looks really, really nice. And the fact that it's got breakfast included, I think, is a real deal, to be fair. That is a decent one. £167 a night. So it's even at the lower, like I said, the lower end of the pricing. So that's pretty decent. And it's for a superior king room with a sofa bed, so that must be the sofa bed. So it's not a bad size. You've got the kettle and stuff as well. No cots or extra beds available. What do you mean? Okay, that's fine. The unit offers 2 beds. This triple room provides okay, so it's still got 2 beds. That's fine. That's all we need. That's all we need. So 9.3 stay with kids. So it's got a good thing there as well with kids. It's quite close to Tivoli Gardens. That is decent. Let's have a quick look at the reviews. Breakfast was awesome, blah blah blah. The rooms facing the road were quite noisy, especially at night during the weekends from people yelling on the streets, and on Monday morning with all trucks delivering things from 6 AM. Yeah. No proper coffee at the breakfast, only filtered coffee even for a hotel like this. Okay. Good, that's fine. Nothing to dislike. An accessible plug close to the bed would have been nice, but that's all I can say. Yeah, that's probably a good shout. Nothing. The room was a bit small for 3, but would have worked well for 2. Fair enough. Sofa bed not comfortable. Shower with curtain difficulty. Shower without it flooding. So I suppose that was in another hotel. So I suppose that's quite a common complaint. So yeah, flower flooded the bathroom. Noise from outside at night, early in the morning. So I suppose that was a bit of a concern. No aircon, so yeah, that's also a bit of a thing. Really strong winds rip in through the iron. I think that about the pillows a little flat. Okay, so it's not too bad. I mean, for, you know, I suppose for a mid-range hotel though, you would expect there to be better coffee in the restaurant, and you would expect air conditioning. I'd have thought. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But yeah. We'll miss that for the time being. We'll keep it up in case we can't find a third option. I think it is a good alternative. I think it's price-wise it's pretty decent. Location is decent. There's just little niggles that if other hotels are better, then you know they would win it. Again, I have stayed here and I know that it is a decent one. Excuse me. It's really close to most things. It's walking distance. You're a little bit further out with the fact that you are on this side of the canal bit. So the main area of you've got Rosenborg castles around here, so it is close to that, but Tivoli is down here, so it's a little bit of a walk to that. Not a massive one. There's buses and whatnot if you didn't want to walk, but it's still relatively quite close to everything. And I do know that you get to walk through the main shopping area. to get down here, which is a win. Well, it was a win for my wife anyway. Breakfast is not included. I will be completely honest, the breakfast is not worth £31 per person. If that is per person, I wouldn't pay that. The breakfast was lovely, but it's quite limited choices. So yeah, I don't think I'd pay that through here. If I wanted breakfast at the hotel, I'll just pay it. I'll just add it on. Let's have a look here. Beautiful hotel. We didn't spend much time here, but we think the hotel is on the farther side from all the main attractions. That is true. Not a million miles away. The room was too hot and only had wall lights, so quite dark. Okay, room a bit small. Wouldn't let me pay in advance, so expect to pay at the hotel. I mean, I paid it in advance, so I don't know if that's necessarily true. Some more shelves, very cozy, clean. I think the price we were paying could have some assistance to the rooms with suitcases. Okay. No water in the rooms, plus the shower area in my room was poor. I mean, we had water now, so yeah. I think that's probably an isolated issue. Yeah, I think overall that looks pretty decent. So yeah, no, I think we'll keep that. I mean, I know that that's a good hotel, so we will add that one to the list. It is a little bit further out, like obviously one of the reviews did say. So if that is a concern, then you know you'd obviously go for something a bit closer. That is, what price is that? 536. 536. Can't remember. Don't know if I paid that amount. But obviously there was the Genius Award reward. I don't know why I call it an award. It's not an award, is it? It's a reward. Right. Next one. So we've got that one. That's done. Hotel SP34. Yeah, now the only concern with this one is this limited time discount. So that's something to bear in mind. Do you know what? I'm not going to include this one. Let me just have a look. I'm just going to change the dates. Because... let me just check something. Sorry, if you can hear scratching, that's the guinea pigs. So yeah, I'm not going to include this one just because it's a special time discount here. So they obviously add discounts from time to time. I don't think that is a fair representation of a price. You know, I can't really put that in the mid-range hotels when it is just on a discount for this time period. It looks like a lovely hotel. Maybe that'll be on the more luxury pricing. But yeah, I don't think that that's a fair justification. So let's have a look at this one. 9.5 stay with kids. That's pretty decent. Stay with kids. Obviously, you've got breakfast. If you want it here, you can add it. The hotel rooms look nice. I quite like this colour. Oh, that's a nice look actually. A little pool area. That's a bit random. No, that can't possibly be a pool to sit on because you've got tables here. That must just be decorative. I was expecting that to be a slide. Okay. Looks nice. Yeah, it looks alright. What's the rooms look like? Premium room with a sofa bed. So does it actually show you the layout? Yeah, so you've got a decent bit of space here, to be fair. It's not a bad spaced room. Location wise, Tivoli Gardens. Where's Tivoli Gardens? I'm running there. So it's a bit of a way out. So it is a little bit of a walk, but you are near. Are you near Nijhaven? Yeah, so you're near Nijhaven, which is obviously one of the the go-to places in Copenhagen. So you are very close to that area. Lots of restaurants, lots of bars. So that is actually, for the price, I'd say that's a very good location for this part of Copenhagen. Obviously, if you want to go to Tivoli, it's a little bit of a walk. It looks further than it actually is. It's not as far, or it doesn't feel as far. I mean, let's pull that up. Let's have a look, shall we? So if we go to Nijhaven, there we go. Nijhaven, directions to Tivoli. Oops. Tivoli Gardens. Walking it would take 27 minutes, which is probably quite accurate. So it's not a terrible walk. It's pretty decent, to be fair. So yeah, it looks further than it probably actually is. Copenhagen's a very walkable city, I found. Well, let's have a quick look at the reviews. Perfect place, yeah, nothing's wrong. Isolation through the corridor wasn't good. You could hear anything, especially the floor. Sometimes, yeah, no proper coffee making machine, blah blah blah. Price was quite high and the room was very small. It's got a lovely hot. It got really hot in the night. Unsure if his heating was turned up. Okay, that's still. But we had to open a window and the street was loud. Yeah, nothing comes to mind. We could hear the couple in the room next door arguing day and night. Not great soundproofing between rooms. I think that's a common issue with most hotels, to be fair. Very small. Hall outside the room was a spongy floor that squeaked. Okay. Hall was very squeaky. Small room. I don't think it's terrible. I think they're pretty decent. Not too bad. Not too bad. So we will add that. I think the location alone deserves that to be added as well, to be fair to you. It's a very good location for Nijhaven, which again is a pretty central, a pretty popular destination to look at in Copenhagen. Attraction, should I say. That's £513. 513, and we'll get the link to that. Why is that link not come up? There we go. That's better. That's just for my own personal obsession. We'll copy that and we will place that in there. And then finally, we will add in this Best Western. I can't remember why we weren't going to. I can't remember why. There was a reason why I wasn't going to, and I can't remember what it was. Not sure why I wasn't going to add it, but I think it was just a bit. No, it's not too pricey. Oh, it was because there's no fridge, I think. Yeah, I think that was why. But we will add it because I think for the price it's decent, especially with the fact that you do get a breakfast as well. So I think we will offset that and put that in there. So we'll paste that. And that was 501, 501. 501. We did one of those just for like that. Oops. Get that one, and we'll get the link like so. Paste that in there, pop the L in, there we go. So now luxury, and then we would have had the hotels sorted. So luxury, we're going to close that, we're going to close that, close that. Going to open this one, and the luxury is 250 plus, so we're just going to bop that right up, and we're just going to put this to 250. It probably should be 260 to be fair. 250, whatever. So again, I'll ignore the ones that we've already looked at. I'll ignore ones that have done with an ad. We'll add this one because obviously that does fit in with the budget. One single, oh no, that's one double or two singles. So that doesn't actually fit in with what we want. So we'll get rid of that. Don't want apartments. I won't add that one because we've already added that. This is a junior suite. So one bedroom, one living room, two beds, one extra large and one sofa bed. So we'll add that. Double bed, Free stay for your child, 1 stay for large double. That's not a bad one. 1 single, 1 large double. Okay, we'll add that. Do you know what? We'll also actually now add, because we are looking at a higher budget, we've got the 5-star hotels as well. Makes sense to add them, really. So Copenhagen, go to that one, keep that one. 2 double beds, that's really good. 2 double beds, I mean, that'd be really good. And breakfast included, that's pretty decent. Pretty decent. Multiple bed types, 1 double or 2 single. Excuse me. Oh gosh, that is bad. Junior suite, 1 extra large bed and 1 futon. Who wants to sleep on a futon? No one does. 1 large double bed, 1 safe bed. Oh, have we got? Oh, we've already got that one up. I'm sure I had that one up. Pop that one back. Private suite, 2 beds, 1 extra large double and 1 sofa bed. 250 yards from the city centre, so that is pretty decent. Apartment Nobis Hotel Copenhagen. That is blooming expensive. 1 extra large double bed, so they've only got the 1 double bed, so I'm not bothered about that. Copenhagen Strand, 2 connecting double rooms. Don't like the thought that there's 2 separate rooms, to be honest. 1 safe bed, 1 large double, breakfast included. We'll add that one. 1 safe bed, 1 large double. We'll add that one, and I think that's it. What we've got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's more than enough. We don't need that many. A lot of these are going to be. That is blooming expensive. Let's have a look at that one. Bloody nice. I remember seeing this when we went to Tivoli Gardens. But you do only get 1 large double bed. So that doesn't work. You know, why would you just have 1 large double bed? That doesn't really fit the amount of people. So that's out. I'm just quite lucky because it's so expensive. Right, so Scandic Palace Hotel. Let's look at this one. So, junior suite, 1 extra large bed and a safer bed. The concern with this one is, I mean, it's not a major concern. It's just obviously the safer bed is in the living room. The double bed is in the bedroom. So, I mean, it would be me on the safer bed because we wouldn't obviously have our son in the living room on his own to sleep. It just would not be practical or safe for us. So there is that. We'll look at another one. We'll use that as a backup, I think. This one has a sofa bed and a large double bed, and this is Superior King with terrace. That sounds nice. Okay, so the sofa, so it's technically in the same room, because I imagine that's the sofa bed, and it pours out. Bed up there, sofa bed there. That's quite interesting. I quite like this area. It's really nice. Maybe not in February though. But no, that's nice. Let's have a look at the reviews. It's got good ratings for stay with kids. That is pretty decent. Map wise, quite close to Nijheim again, which is really good. This is quite a quiet area. You've got the palace just up here as well. I believe it's up here somewhere. Here it is actually. I think that's it there. So you're quite close to that. There's the nice park area here. There's a Little Mermaid thing around here, I think it is. So there's quite a lot to do around there. So that's a good location. Let's look at the reviews. We paid nearly $3,000 for a week. Wow. Stay in 2 rooms. Okay, so it's $1,500. Was it enough to qualify for the complimentary lotion? The Wi-Fi didn't reach the bed, but it was strong in the bathroom. Interesting. Almost nothing. No. Luggage storage is a paid-for service. Should be free for hotel guests. I do agree with that. I do definitely agree. It should be a free service. The locker service of bags is quite expensive. Prices was a bit drop in. No mini bar in the room. Bad illumination of the room. Facilities not good. Walls are super thin. Yeah, see, I wouldn't go for this one just because of yeah, no mini fridge and all that jazz. Right, Copenhagen Marriott. They're pretty decent. Marriott hotels are normally pretty decent. Big room, 2 double beds, which is really good. Nice amount of space, looking out at the water, which is good. I mean, it looks a little dated, to be honest. I don't particularly like the look of the room. It is very, I'd say very dated, but you know, you're not going to spend all the time in the room anyway, are you? Comes with breakfast, which is decent for that price. Not bad with the stay with kids. Obviously Marriott's all over the world, so if you got a rewards card it would make sense. Guest review. So bathroom was outdated but clean and appropriately stocked. Good, that's what you want. Breakfast was basic. Certain days when the hotel was with more guests, it was obviously that they were somewhat understaffed. Indoor sauna wasn't hot enough. Okay, won't bother me. Room was for up to 4 people but only provided 2 cups and glasses. Had to request 1 more. Could do English breakfast, tea bags in the room. Not the end of the world. You can ask for that stuff. Okay, I was disappointed with the breakfast. Well, it's included in the price, so that to me does not bother me too much. If it's included in the price and I'm happy with the price, then I won't necessarily have the breakfast all the time. TV only had BBC News and CNN and documentaries, English channels. It was disappointing not to have other English channels. I'm not bothered about that, to be honest. Never watch TV when I'm on holiday, usually. Especially not in a different country. Expected English channels. Breakfast could be better. I think that's a good one. We'll add that. What location was it? Right on the waterfront there. Fairly close to Tivoli Gardens. Not too far from Nijhaven. Just there. So yeah, I think that's pretty decent. So we'll add that one to there. Pop that down. Pace without font. Why is this not bulleted pointed? Oh, you pain. Will it do it now? Nope, it won't, because it's messing me up. Oh well, we could just bullet point it like. I don't want you bullet pointing. I want this one bullet pointing. For goodness sake. Right, now don't bullet point that one. There we go. We got there eventually. Okay, and that was, how much was that? That was 862 pounds. Okay, and we'll link that. Bish, bash, bosh. There we go. Okay. And we'll look at a couple more. We'll go through these quite quickly. I think we're not going to go for that one. We're just going to look at the location, which is there. So that's pretty decent to most things. Fairly close. We'll have a look at the triple room. Interesting look. I don't understand where the single bed is. I don't actually show you. That would be a concern. Quick look at the reviews. Okay, no bad things, no bad things, no bad things. Bathroom could be cold and would have loved a fridge. Okay. Some info was not consistent. For example, was written room info gym is open 24/7, but only open from 6 a.m. So ended up not going. All right, random. Size of bathroom. Room was very small. Everything was good. Don't like the stairs in front of the hotel when we arrived or leave with luggage. It's not easy, but only 2 to 3 steps is still okay. That's it. Okay. It was perfect bathroom, like a wet room. I think they're all like that by the sounds of it. Yeah, I mean that one's alright. Looks pretty decent. I have actually seen this one. We walked past this one round here. So you go around here and up there, and behind it is the Hotel Arthur Kong that we just added to the other one. So yeah, this one seemed quite busy. So I'm going to paste that there, and that is, how much was that? That was 784. 784. And we will pop the link in like so. Boom. And we'll put chapters in this video, in this live stream as well, when the recording, so you can go to key areas. Right, now these ones look quite good. That one looks random. So we're just going to go through this quick time. So, 1 bedroom suite, 1 large double bed and a sofa bed. It's not what I was expecting, I'll be honest with you. Looks a bit weird looking, that does. Where is it? Location. Nijhaven there, so it's not too bad. What's the reviews like? Not much storage for personal items, nothing. Not much I didn't like, maybe a bit more instruction on how to work the heater. Okay, nothing was wrong with that. I didn't like the fact that the aircon for the room was controlled at reception, but they turned it off as soon as I asked. Well, that'd be a bit interesting. I don't particularly like that. No, I don't want that. Nope. Not having any reception telling me what I can have with my heating on. So this one is in Vesterbro? It's quite close to Tivoli, which is good. So that's good. Let's have a look at the room. Oh my god, that is pink. Okay, it's interesting. You can see Tivoli Gardens right there. Yeah, I mean that is bright, but you know, got a good review for kids. Look at the reviews, very good. A bit of a maze of corridors, but one gets used to it after a bit. Having its own restaurant would have given this hotel top marks, otherwise it was perfect in every sense. Nothing other than they don't serve lunch or snacks. A shower went everywhere. Okay, lovely location, breakfast. So do they do breakfast? Yeah, so they do breakfast. Fair enough. That's not too bad. Let's just compare it with this one. Okay. That's quite nice actually. Really big size, really big with all that. I think that looks quite nice. Yeah, that looks lovely actually, I will have to say. And location wise, it's a little bit further out, so it's a bit closer to the Little Mermaid statue. Nijhaven's here, so you've got quite a bit of a walk to Tivoli Gardens. I'd say that's more of an hour walk, maybe 40 minutes depending on how fast you walk. So it is definitely further out, but it does look nice. We weren't keen on the breakfast offer, espresso latte, etc. charged extra, but there is a drip coffee included in the price. Okay, that's I think that's quite standard. I think that's pretty standard. Nothing wrong. There was nothing I didn't like. Nothing. We were locked out of the room, out of the hotel at 10 p.m. on Sunday, which was a little worrying. Our door locks automatically at 9 as a safety, but there is a keypad to open the door if the receptionist steps away from the desk when you arrive. Okay, yeah, so that would be annoying, but obviously if you knew the what you needed to do, then not too bad. Bit of a walk from the train station. It was winter, so the walk could be really cold. Nothing. All good. Breakfast is quite expensive, probably not worth it. Also, breakfast area is a little small and cramped. I liked everything. Okay, that's good. I think we'll add that one. I think I prefer that one over to that one because yeah. Although saying that, is that purely just because of the room? I mean, that's £931. That's £830. The location on this one is better. This one, yeah. Do you know what? We're gonna add this one just purely because the price is better and the location is better. The room for me is a little bit like in your face, but like that's personal like opinion, isn't it? So that's going to change for people. So we're going to put that at 8:30, and then a link to the hotel is this one. There we go. So 3 luxury hotels. So we've got 9 hotels in total. So we've got 3 budget, 3 mid-range, and 3 luxuries. So a nice selection of hotels there, definitely. So next up, we're going to look at activities. So activities. So we probably won't get around to the restaurants because I think, to be honest, I'm not going to do restaurants because I think that's always subjective because of people's different dietary in requirements, and also foods that people do and do not like. Food I like is going to be very different potentially to food that you like. So I think that's going to be a lot more subjective. Let me know in the comments though, if you do watch this, let me know in the comments if you think that would be useful, because if it would, I would obviously add it to some degree, maybe not into a lot of detail, but maybe in terms of giving a list of recommended restaurants might be an option. But activities, so let's have a look at here, things to do in Copenhagen. Okay, so we are going to look at the top sites. Here we go. So the first thing is Tivoli Gardens. That is definitely one that should be done. So Tivoli Gardens, Rosenborg Castle. Is it Berg or Borg? Borg, Rosenborg. Rosenborg Castle. It's going to depend on when you go in the time of the year as well, and also what you are interested in. Because, if you're going with kids, you might not want to fill it with lots of museums. To be fair, but yeah, it's there are a lot of different museums and palaces to look at, which is good. Going to pop that in there. I keep doing that. So I'm just going to do these and then have a quick look at them and see if it's things that we would go to. This is meant to be really good because you have this tower at the top that you can walk across. Around. My God, I keep pressing the wrong one. There we go. And then we're going to look at Nijhaven. Paste that. Then we're going to look at Little Mermaid. That is very well known. Copy that, and we're going to place that in there. And then we're going to look at Sogurt's the main shopping area. So we'll add that because everywhere I go, I seem to have to go get dragged around the shops. Go figure. That, and yeah, I think that would do for a 3-day trip. I mean, you've got the zoo as well, to be fair. I mean, I'm one of these people that when you've been to one zoo, you've been to them all, because they all have the same animals in them. But we'll add that. There is also things to do in Copenhagen with kids. There is one. It's the Experitorium. So we'll add that to it, because that is with kids. So what else is there? Little Mermaid. We've got that. We've got the museum. Got the palaces. Got the zoo. Nighthaven. Again, there's lots of museums. We'll put the botanical garden as well. Okay, done that again, idiot. Right, and we'll paste that. Right, okay, so we've got a lot here. Let's list them by numbers rather than bullet points. There we go. So there's 12 different activities. Obviously, we're not going to do them all because we've only got 3 days. So we're going to look at some of them and get a little bit of a plan going. So let's itinerary. So we're going to have Friday. Actually, let's get a table going. So insert table, tools. Can't remember how you do it. Tables. Where's tables? Insert table. There we go, table. So we're going to have the day, morning, lunch, dinner, or morning, afternoon, evening. And we're going to have Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Okay, so day, morning, afternoon, evening. Okay, so Monday. No, it's not Monday. Stop it. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Right. Now, flights. So let's just have a look at the flights. So here we land in the morning, so that's fine. This one will land in the lunchtime. If I was to be booking any of these, it would be this one. So because of the time and the price. So I know that I'm not going to land into Copenhagen until 10 to 3. 10 minutes to get off the plane. Is it 10 to 3? No, it's 10 to 10. It's going to be, no, because that's the UK time. So add an hour on that is, let's round it to 2. So it's going to be 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be 5 o'clock. Give it an hour to get the case and everything. So it's going to be 6 o'clock. Okay, so 6 o'clock. So we're not going to be doing anything then, and we're not going to be doing anything then. And to be completely honest, we're not going to do anything in the evening, major, because obviously, by the time you got to the hotel, it's going to be 6. It's going to be, tough to do anything there. So we might just have a little explore locally, like so. Let's just format this a bit better. So we're going to do that. We're going to bold that. We're going to bold that. We'll bold that. Bold that. And then bold that. Right. So we're going to get a map up. So maps.google. We're going to go Copenhagen. Now, I don't tend to use maps that much, if I'm honest with you. I need to definitely start using them more. So we don't want that. Right, we're going to. Can we like clear all this stuff? We don't need that anymore. There we go. So we don't need. So what we're going to do, I could do with a blank. Don't want any of that. Come on, get off. End of the map? No. Right, whatever. We're going to add in Tivoli Gardens. Tivoli Gardens. Okay, so Tivoli Gardens there. Can we mark this at all? Alright, I'm going to learn how to do this more. It's not the end of the world. Right. Well, Tivoli Gardens there. We've then also got Rosenborg Castles here. We've got the Little Mermaid statues here. So we know that Rosenborg Castle and the Little Mermaid statues are around about that area. We have another palace there. So they're all along there. Nijhaven's there. Tivoli's here. Next to Strogert. I don't think that's how you pronounce it, so my apologies for butchering that. But that is along here, I believe, or around this area. Got that round tower there. So, I'm trying to work out about putting things close together. So, Experitorium. That takes about half a day to go around, and we're going with kids, so we're going to do morning. We'll do Experitorium there, like that. Saturday, definitely we want to go do Tivoli Gardens. Is like one of the main things to do, so I would probably first time you get there, what do you do? We could, I'm trying to think what we want. So we want to do, I want to do Tivoli Gardens. I'm going to book this based on what I want to do. Obviously this would be different for yourselves. So we're going to go Nijhaven, Little Mermaid, Strogert. So I reckon, what time's the flight coming back? Monday. Monday is quite late, isn't it? So we've got all day Monday. So that tells me in the evening Monday. Well, no, we'll probably chill in the evening. So we'll get into the airport and whatnot. So I would put NA on there. We would leave the shopping till the afternoon. Like so. I think that makes sense. Shopping in the afternoon. I would do Nijhaven there. So do this Experitorium and then Nijhaven. I think that makes sense. So then in the morning, we could do Rosenborg. Actually, yeah, do you know what? We'd do that. We'd do Rosenborg Castle. Rosenborg Castle and Little Mermaid. Strogert and the Round Tower, because that's around there. Ba-bum. If we look here, we have this one here. Look, this is the Round Tower, and that Strogert is around one of these streets. I can't remember which one it is. Let's have a look. Where's that? So if we pull this up on the maps, so that's here. Look, so this is like the main shopping street. So we have, that's just this. You could literally do both of those at the same time. That'd be easy enough to do. And then I think we would do Tivoli Gardens here. And I think that that would flow into the afternoon because you'd spend all day there, to be fair. I mean, I'd also do it here. So I would do that there, and then we would end that day going to Nijhaven, because you have to go to Nijhaven, I think. So that to me looks like a good one. Well, no, we've got Nijhaven there actually, so we don't need to do Nijhaven there. So I would be tempted to do that there, and then maybe if you're interested, you've got obviously the museum, National Museum of Denmark. Or I would simply replace that with Christianborg Palace. I think that would be a good shout. So I think that's quite a good itinerary. I think I would change, you change it around, do a bit of research on the different things. I haven't done that because I know, I've been to Copenhagen, so I kind of know the things that I would like to do and see. And things that we enjoyed doing. Obviously, on another video, on another live stream, we'll pick a destination that I've not been to before, and then we'll go into a little bit more detail on the different places. Got a little bit short on time this time, but we'll go into a bit more detail on the activities. I think we'll go into less detail on the hotels. I kind of feel that we went into a bit too much detail with the different hotels. I think we'll streamline that a little bit more, maybe just find one for each budget. I think that would probably be better. Let me know in the comments below though what you do think, if you think that would be better. But yeah, there we have a nice itinerary, I think. So the destination is Copenhagen, 3 nights, 4 days. Technically, is that 3 nights? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Yeah, 3 days. But the times kind of messes up a little bit. I think if we were to pay more, it would be better to go something like this one, because we'd get there so early in the morning, so it would free up this day, this complete day, because you're not doing too much in the evening anyway. This stock's quite chilled. This day is quite a chilled day looking at this. So you could fill this entire day with a lot more things. It might be a case of doing some of these activities before this lot. So if we were to look at the cost of that, not including the activities, what would we look at? Let's pick this one. So we've got 450. So total is 450. Plus hotel ranges. Let's go for, I mean, it's going to vary in it. Let's go for mid-range. I would go to Hotel Kong Arthur because that's, I do think that one's brilliant. But all these are pretty decent. I reckon let's go for 550 just so that we're rounding it up. So the total would be 1,000. That's flights and hotel, which I think is pretty decent. Obviously that doesn't include food. Again, it's very expensive in Copenhagen, so it doesn't include food. It doesn't include the activities. For the Tivoli Gardens, you're going to be looking at like £100 for 3 with ride access. Experitorium, you're going to be looking at, I believe, around about the same price. I can't remember off the top of my head. The Rosenborg Castle, the grounds are free, but if you want to go around the actual palace itself, the castle itself, that's around about £36. Little Mermaid's free. Strogo's free. Nijhaven's free. I don't know about the museum, and I don't know about the round tower. So let's just add these on. Let's just do that. So let's look at the prices. So Tivoli Gardens. Buy tickets and pass. Accept language. Okay, we're just going to leave it that language. That's fine. Not a problem. So we're going to go for the entrance and pass, which is that one. Translate to English. Is it tour pass, ride pass? Yeah. Yeah, okay, so I don't understand. Don't understand the difference. So what's the difference? I'm sure last time I looked at this, there we go, there's an English version. So entrance and ride pass, there we go, so that one. So what is the difference of these? Add to basket, go to basket. I think it's because it's closed at the moment, it opens up in the summer. But let's get a rough price. So that's going to be 104.37. So to GPP is £166.57. So we're going to bob that in there. Always do that. Shillimere. Paste that. Rosenberg Castle. Tickets, they are £17. Select date. Let's say what date did we close them for some reason. 34.76. So we use this as an example. Paste without formatting. The round tower, because we've got that on our list. Website, I'm not sure how much this costs, to be honest. It's closed until February the 5th, which is fine. Prices, here we go. Adult 60 Danish kroner, so that's 120 because there were 2 adults. That's 13.91. Might as well call it 14 quid. Call it 14. Right. National Museum of Denmark. Tickets. Okay, if you get your guide again, entry tickets, 2 adults, 1 child, going on, I think it's that date we put, is 31/28. Haven's free, Little Mermaid's free, Expertorium, I can't remember how much that was. How much was that? Tickets. And we did that on, what date was that? That was the Sunday. So 2 adults, 1 child. Sunday the 15th would be 75.90. So a little bit less than what I said. Okay, paste without formatting. Right, so let's add these up. So we've got the 1,000 plus 166.57 plus 34.76 plus 14, 31.28 plus 75.90 would be 1,322. No, 3,322 and 51 pence roughly. So that would be for flights there and back, hotel for 3 nights, and then activities. So I don't think that is bad. How much does that work out at per day? We're going to divide that by 4 because we're technically there for 4 days. So that works out at £330 and 62 pence a day. So yeah, I don't think that is too bad. I think that's pretty decent. Obviously, it's not including food and drink and all of that good stuff. So you do have to bear that in mind. But yeah, there we have it. a kind of itinerary plan for Copenhagen. Hopefully this has been useful. Hopefully it's giving you a bit of an insight into my brain and when I plan holidays. This is obviously the first live stream, so please do bear with me. These will get a little bit more streamlined. Obviously when I'm doing it myself, I'm doing it for many hours and I'm putting lots of detail in it. I'm thinking, I'm reading, I'm doing reviews, I'm doing all of that good stuff. So to try and get that into a small live stream of like around about an hour, 2 hours is quite tricky. So we will get better and we will streamline it a little bit more. Let me know please in the comments what you did think. Let me know where things could be improved. If I'm waffling too much on certain bits like the hotels, if there's areas that you think needs more detail, then yeah, do let me know and we can definitely look into that. So yeah, hopefully you have found it interesting and I will see you next Wednesday for another planning live stream. So until then, bye for now.